I'm going to survive 100 days stranded on an island in hardcore Minecraft. The waters are infested by sharks and I have no choice but to make a home for myself here. With the limited resources on the island and some cozy mods, I will attempt to transform the island into a beautiful base. Unless the sharks get me first. It's day 1 on the island and all I can see is beautiful trees and flowers. I also spawned in with a fishing journal and there are a bunch of fish that we can potentially catch later. But first I have to get started and chop down a tree. I also have to be really careful not to die to any creatures because this is hardcore mode. So if I die, it's over. So let's hope whatever lurks out there in the ocean isn't hungry. Those fish look friendly, but I know there are sharks somewhere. I'm not scared. Let's make our first crafting table and then we can get a wooden pickaxe. I see some stone over there, so let's head over there without dying. I'm scared. It's just a little water cave, nothing to see here. Let's mine up all of the stone. Let's craft a stone pickaxe and then we can get even more stone a lot faster. I also just touched the water and got the advancement Hybrid Aquatic. Discover an expanded world beneath the waves. Oh, I know exactly what's beneath the waves. Sharks. And even more creepy underwater creatures that I'm gonna eat later. I crafted all of the stone tools, so now we can take a look around this island. There are just a bunch of water caves, but I don't see any iron. And even worse, if we don't get a bed, then we're going to die at night. But all is well because there's a tiny little bunny. I found yet another water cave. Creepy cave. Not without armor. Sheep! Guys, I found some sheep! We have 4 sheep on the island, but I don't want to kill them to get the wool. I need iron. Oh, there's a big shark in the water. No thank you. And we also only have 1 apple to eat and now we're out of food. Our island is made of 1 huge landmass and 1 small one. And the water in between doesn't seem like it's shark infested. So we could just make some doors and then go in there and look for iron. Please no sharks. I mean, there's some coal here. Oh my gosh, don't drown. Don't drown. I think there's some iron down there. Oh, there's something there. Let's mine all of this really fast. This island is not safe at night. If I don't sleep, I'm going to die straight away. Furnace. Smelt the iron. I can already see some stars in the sky. 1 piece of iron and 2 pieces of iron. Make shears. Now I just have to find the sheep again without dying. Give me your wool. 3 wool! I love this sheep forever. I got so lucky. And sleep. It's day 2 and I'm still alive for now. But everything on this island is super mega terrifying. There are a bunch of holes and water caves. So maybe to start off this adventure, I could hide away on this tiny island. I just need to swim through here without dying. Please no sharks in the water. I made it. Look at this beautiful tiny little island. We even have a beehive and we have a couple wild crops. Yeah, we got carrots. Oh my gosh. Is that an otter? Hello? Look at this little guy. He's so cute, he cannot be hostile. And look, we have our own private little beach with a little starfish. No, it was alive and I killed it. And there are no other starfish on this beach. Dude, there's a ray. It's so beautiful. It's probably going to kill me, so let's go far away. And I already can't sprint anymore, so I need to eat some of the carrots, but I definitely cannot eat all of them. So I'm going to chop down a bunch of trees on this island, and then we can make a little crop farm by the water. Let's also punch some grass and see if we get some seeds. Now we just have to wait for this to grow and hope we don't starve in the meantime. And I kind of got carried away and chopped down half of the trees on this tiny island. And I also saw a tiny little crab sitting on my beach. Is that a crab in a skeleton? There's another crab here. Guys, I'm desperate. I'm hungry. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I killed it. Now that's just clawsome. A coconut crab claw. And I can craft it into a raw crab. We have food. Hello. Please die. I got a skeleton skull. I mean, I don't have any other armor, so I'm a skeleton. Look at this tiny starfish. It's moving around. That is so cute. I'm sorry I killed your other friend. I mean, it was that guy. Let's try roasting that raw crab. A cooked crab. We're going to live. And I'm out of food again. More crabs spawned. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm hungry. And there's a tiny little jellyfish. Hello? Can I eat you? It dropped a slime ball. I mean, that is nice. There's another fish. Should I risk it? Nope, there's a shark. Nope. I'm just going to be content with my raw crab and not risk dying on day 2. On day 3, I continued chopping down a bunch of trees on this tiny island. And of course, hunting down the local crab population. I even got a new kind of crab, the Dungeness crab claw. Look at this guy. I'm so sorry. We got a nautilus shell. These look really poisonous. No thank you. Now that I've gotten rid of a bunch of trees, there's enough space to start building a house. We only have oak and birch trees on this island, so those are the only 2 wood types we can use to build. But we can also get some other blocks to go along with that, like stone. Dude, there's a skelly! Hello? How did a skelly get into an underwater cave? And also, I don't want to know. I'm scared. I think I'm going to dig myself a little hole, hopefully not going into any caves, and also try and find some andesite and granite. I mined up a bunch of andesite and then went straight to bed. On day 4, I dug deeper and also found some granite, which I also mined. Then my pickaxe broke, so I had to make a new one. And then it was back to the mines for me because next to looking for resources to build my house, I also want to try and get lucky and find some coal or iron. And I did find a little cave opening, which seems scary, but it was just this tiny hole. So let's take this iron off of the walls. No, there's a water cave behind it. I mean, that is good. Maybe there are more resources. There's iron on the wall. And good that I brought my doors. Let's take all of this. We also got these tiny fishies here. Let's see if we can eat them. I'm so sorry. Don't attack me, please. Give me food. It's an iron tetra, and I'm also gonna drown. What? I can craft them into iron? Well, thank you very much. I had no idea that was even a thing. I'm definitely gonna be on the lookout for these fishies from now on. Then my pickaxe broke again, so I decided it was time to stop procrastinating and get back to building my house. Let's melt all of this iron that we found, and also craft another furnace. And then we can turn some of this cobblestone into stone. On day 5, I chopped down some more trees because I realized I didn't have nearly enough wood for my starter house. I also saw a super creepy thing on my beach and had to unalive it for food. And it gave me more crab meat. And a little sea otter came by, but it didn't care about me at all. Also, the starfish are creeping me out how they're just moving around here. I have enough oak, but I definitely need some more birch, so I'm going to plant more saplings again. Even though we still don't have enough wood, we can already start working on the foundation of the house using andesite, bricks, and cobblestone. We're gonna go 7 blocks on this side and then 9 blocks on the other side. And the wall is also going to be 2 blocks high. On day 6, my little stone wall was done, and some of my crops had finally grown, so I can harvest my first carrots. We also gotta make some more progress on our starter house, so I added in wooden walls made of stripped birchwood and planks. It still doesn't look like a house or more like a wooden box, but we can already move into it. Not because I'm scared of living out here. Definitely not, so let's quickly add in a floor. And definitely some torches so the creatures don't spawn in here. And let's bring all of our stuff over. No more living on the beach. On day 7, a bee just flew into my house, which made me realize it's still not very safe if we don't have any doors or windows. We can quickly solve the door problem, but for windows, we're going to need sand, and this is kind of the only sand on this island. I'm still gonna grab a bunch though, but I hope the crabs won't stop spawning because of that. I mean, there's one right there. Give me food. Let's melt a bunch of sand into glass, but I actually want to get some white stained glass, so we need bone meal, so we could just shear a bunch of leaves. Also, the dolphins brought me some food. Thank you, guys. We got a herring. We can craft that into raw fish meat. More food for me. Now we can craft a composter, and we can put the leaves in here until we get bone meal. There we go. And turn the glass into white stained glass. Of course, I'm going to use the glass panes to save up on glass. And now we can put all of this into the windows. Now this feels much, much safer, except for the gaping hole in the ceiling. So let's craft a bunch of oak materials. Let's add a ladder so we can easily climb up here. And of course, it started raining just as I wanted to start building. Now we really gotta hurry up and put a roof on this thing before my bed gets super soggy. A little starfish climbed on my house. Dude, this is so creepy. Whoop. And now it fell down again. How it just died. I mean, that's kind of tragic, but also kind of funny because it was creepy. And on day 8, there was a beautiful rainbow and no more pesky rain, so I continued building. Now the frame of the roof is done, and to fill in the middle, I'm going to use stripped oak logs. My axe broke before I could strip this one last log. And to make things worse, I'm also out of cobblestone. Now I have to go mining just so I can strip one singular log. Also, there's another little fish in the water. Please give me iron. Come on here, fishy fishy. It is an iron fish. More iron. Thank you. Now let's make a new axe and strip that last log. And now the whole roof is done. But the house itself still needs to be decorated. A lot. Since we can't use precious spruce wood to decorate my house, we're gonna make use of some modded decor. We can use slabs to craft these beautiful oak shutters. And they actually function like real shutters, and you can open and close them. So we can have 2 of them right here. And I'm going to go all around the house and add them on every window. We also have an even cooler thing, and those are flower boxes. We can put them under the window, and since we live in a flower forest island, we have a bunch of flowers. So we can just add them in here. That is so adorable. So once again, let's spam flower boxes and flowers all over the place. And we can also add some small windows right on top of the roof. And of course, we need to have more flower boxes. I think this is my new obsession. And I just fell off the roof because of it. Imagine I die in hardcore mode because of flower boxes. I also added some leafy vines growing down the roof, and I think this house is really cute. I think it's still missing something though. window, and that's why I gathered a bunch of granite. I didn't build a window on this side of the wall so we can go up with the granite and then punch a hole through the roof and then build it up all the way up here. Then we add some oak shutters around this block, and then we can replace it with a campfire. I didn't even know that was an advancement. And now we just— ow! And now we just add a granite wall on top. And because the oak shutters don't have holes like the oak trapdoors, it looks much better and we cannot see the campfire. Now this house just needs one more thing. An actual staircase to get up to the house because I have to jump up a full block. And just like that, problem solved. Now that's what I call a beautiful starter house. But we also still have to work on the interior. And to do that, we need some help from the local farm animals, especially the sheep that live somewhere on this island. So let's build them a little ugly early game animal pen next to my house. And of course the starfish is climbing it again. Dude, this one is just brown, like a poop fish. I've also been slowly expanding my crop field, so now we can bring some resources over to lure the sheep. But I also don't want to move the sheep across water and risk sharks eating them. So on day 11, I started working on a little bridge. I think this would also be a great way to cross over to this other island, so we don't have to swim through the creepy water. Because sharks, there's something super creepy. I'm not scared. We got 2 rows of slabs, and then I'm gonna fill the part in between with trapdoors. But they have holes, so when we walk across, we can see this creepy water ravine underneath. But this bridge doesn't seem super safe to me, so we definitely need a railing. Let's add some stripped wooden logs, and then we can add some fences in between. On day 12, the bridge was done and looking really beautiful. Now that we have 2 builds in our world, we should also link them up and add a little path leading from my house over to the bridge. Did I really just get distracted building a beautiful bridge over to the other island instead of just getting the animals? Yes, I did. But now we have a super pretty build, so we love to see it. But we do not love to see that. Now we just have to find the sheep. Oh my gosh, and look, we also have cows on the island. Sheep number 1 is crossing the bridge. Now it can go right into this pen. And even more sheep crossing the bridge. Some questionably crossing the bridge. I don't know what that sheep is doing. That sheep over there is downright refusing. Look at all of the sheep we have, and we can collect tons of wool. Also look, more of these nautilus crabs have arrived, so we can kill them, and I've already collected 7 of them in total. And you can actually use them to craft things like a bunch of tools. But I think my favorite thing is the nautilus helmet. So now we can get rid of the skeleton skull and wear this instead. I'm literally peeking out of the shell like a hermit crab. So basically like the guys I just killed on the beach. Awkward. But now it's finally time that we work on the interior and add a bunch of modded blocks. First up, we gotta add a ceiling to this house so we can use 2 floors instead of just 1. This side is going to be my storage and crafting area. Then we can add a table over here and some oak chairs. And I think that is really cute. I also used wool to craft a bunch of curtains so we can hang them over the windows and we can open and close them, which I think is the coolest thing ever. Now the creepy creatures out there cannot spy on me because I'm just closing the curtains. Teehee. I also made a little lamp, and look at this beautiful thing. This is much better than torches on the walls. And the room up here is going to be my cozy bedroom. So first we add in the bed. We also have this white sofa which we can put here. Another table with the lamp. I think this room is super cozy. So we need to make it creepy and add a skeleton head next to my bed. And I think it's already getting dark, so we can spend the first night in our new bedroom. Now that we have a beautiful home, I feel much safer already. So let's do something dangerous. I only own 9 pieces of iron, so we could craft an iron chest plate. So now we look much stronger. I'm still scared though. And with the last remaining ingot, we can make a shield, just in case I run into creatures, like creepy starfish. Why does it feel like they're getting bigger? And then we can go and look for some caves on this big island. I found a giant water cave, which seems safer than just going caving. And now we can just go diving. I still don't have a lot of resources, so let's pick up every ore that we can find. What the heck? The cow just jumped into the water. Why is it coming towards me? I swear, if it's going to die in this magma, is it really that stupid? Is it really that stupid? It really is that stupid. It really is that stupid. Dude, no! Stop! 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 No! Dude! If that was one of the only 2 cows on this island. Stupid magma thing, evil creature, something. And as soon as the sun set, I started spamming my bed underwater. And this time I actually did find an opening that led to a real cave, which was kind of creepy. But luckily, no creatures were here, and it just led to the exit of the cave. I can hear skeletons in the walls. And if things couldn't get worse, there was also a real cave underneath me. I'm not scared of hardcore mode. I'm going down there and I'm going to slay. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Into the wall. No, not a mine shaft. I hate this on so many levels. Hi, creatures. Hi, creatures. Hello? There we go. Chest, 3 iron and a bunch of random stuff. Ooh, we got lots of string. Ruh, stupid zombies. I'm gonna play it super safe because I only have 1 life. Give me the chest. Golden apple. Oh my gosh. Tomato seeds. Yes, more food. Hi, zombies. There's a minecart chest. Die, zombie. Wait, this is the first time I've killed a monster. That's embarrassing. It's like a little XP farm. They just keep dropping down and I slay them. A cooking pot, name tag. Also, this is creepy. And I'm leaving. Goodbye. I survived the creepy caves. I got only 3 iron, but I got a bunch of new food options, which is amazing because you can't find any of these on these islands. We can plant the rice in the water and all of the other seeds can be grown on land. I'm super excited about the tomatoes. Also, more nautilus crabs have spawned here, so we can unalive them for their shells again. Now I can craft another piece of armor, whatever pauldrons are. Oh, they go on my shoulder. That looks so cool. I'm totally gonna wear these. Unless I go caving, then I wear this. But I think the best possible thing that we could find is string, because now we can craft a fishing rod or a fishing net, or even some fishing line. I think we should craft this, because I added a nice fishing mod. It's the Tide mod that also gave us this fishing journal. I don't know what we can do with the fishing line, so maybe we do need to craft a fishing rod after all. To improve our fishing rod, we also need this angling table. So let's melt down our copper and then we can craft it. And it looks really cool. And here we can add the fishing line, and we also need some other things like this fishing hook. And we also need to make a fishing bobber, and we need slime for that. But we actually have one from a jellyfish. And there are so many cool ones, and I think I want the apple one. And I have a bunch of apples from the oak trees. Let's craft it. Now we add all of this here, and now the fishing rod is equipped with all of these things. We're almost ready to go fishing. We also need a bunch of bait, which we can craft from a bunch of food items. And I luckily have a lot of those. Now just equip it in the fishing rod and the bait is in. But I don't just want to stand by the shore and fish. You know, sharks could come to land and kill me. That could definitely happen. But sharks are totally my excuse to build a beautiful fishing dock. My axe broke. For my dock build, I think I'm just gonna chop down a bunch of trees on the big island, so this place looks less creepy and full of trees. On day 17, I had a stack of oak wood, and this part of the island was looking less creepy. Now we just need to build up a dock without going into the water and dying to creatures. And to make things even scarier, it just started raining. And of course, it's a thunderstorm. No, thank you. I'm sleeping. Let's finish up this dock by adding a safe railing and also a little bench so we can sit down and then we can fish. This mod changes how fishing works, so now we can do this. Yay! We have the apple. That is so funny. Fish? Oh my gosh. Dude, fishing is harder now. But we caught it. Let's try this again. And... yay! Leather boots! I spent the rest of the day fishing, learning how to use the new mod, and getting a bunch of cool stuff. And then a bunch of creepy fish spawned in, so I decided I had enough fishing for today. We got an inventory full of cool fish, and we can also see them in the book and also click on them and then find out some information about them. I want to do something fun with the fish because we can craft a fish display. Then we can put this on the wall, and then we can add this fish on it. Oh my gosh! Wait, this is so cool! Oh gosh, what if we do this? A cod! Or this one. I can't decide which one to put on here. They all look really fun. Oh my gosh, this one has a giant eye. That is creepy. I think I'm gonna go for this one. I need a place to display all of my fish. And I totally want to decorate the rest of this tiny island before I move on to the big island. So we could add another building on here, which is going to be my fishing hut. We need a bunch of resources for that fishing hut. So let's go back into the branch mines. And the best thing about mining underground is that we can also come across some iron, since I wasn't so lucky in the caves. Mainly because I took one look at the mine shaft and ran away like a little baby, but we don't talk about that. But sadly, I didn't find any iron. I just found the andesite and the granite that I was actually here for. But on day 20, I finally found some iron while mining out the granite. Now we can put all of our stony blocks into the messy chests and chop down a bunch of oak trees on the big island. And I saw the most hilarious fish in the water. There's a squid with a creeper face. This is the funniest thing ever. Wait, now the creeper face is fading. That is absolutely terrifying. Now that is absolutely terrifying. There's literally a hammerhead shark in the waters. Things just keep getting creepier. It's nighttime. I'm scared. It's day 21 and I'm definitely not scared. I also chopped down a bunch of trees and now own several stacks of oak. Now we just have to craft all of that into a bunch of build materials. On day 22, I had all of my resources together and there was another giant shark in the water. So I ignored all the creepy ocean crawlies and built a small but cozy fishing shack using some stone, oak for the walls, and granite on the roof. Now we just need to decorate it, and I found out that you can also place the flower boxes on the ground. And now this is going to look really cute. And that is not very cute. We can also craft some more decor like wooden crates. And And I built this little overhang which can be our fishing storage, so we can add all of the crates here and also maybe a couple chests. Also a bunch of fish just randomly died here. Should I risk it? I'm risking it. I'm risking it. Now we've got some herring, which is perfect because I want to display a fish at the door because that's totally what you're supposed to do when you're building a fisherman's hut. I really love the pretty flowers and stinky fish vibes. Okay, what the heck is that swimming in the ocean? Dude, I'm so tempted. Oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh. There's something cool in the water and I don't know where the creatures are. I can't believe I just risked that, but I got a sea urchin spine and whatever that is. I think that's fish that we can eat. On day 23, I started working on the interior of the house, or more like stinky fish shack, and added in a stony floor. Then we can also add a little bit of cute furniture, and also found out you can put these lamps on the wall. And it kind of looks like a creepy jellyfish, so it fits the vibe. This does not fit the vibe. Go away! Then we can put a wooden plate and cup on the table, and a fish on the plate, so it looks like we're eating it. But I also want this place to be storage for our fish, because they fill up all of my inventory and all of my chests in my house, so we could actually add them into these wooden crates. But of course we can't forget that we can put some of them on the fish displays, especially the really funny ones and the creepy ones that stare right into your soul. But these here look pretty cool. I also covered up the ceiling using slabs because I had some dirt in the ceiling because I grew grass on the roof because I thought it looked pretty. Now the ceiling looks much better too, and we've got ourselves a little stinky fishing hut. Now we just have to connect this house up to my path all the way over there. On day 24 I'd finished the path and also linked it up to the little dock, and now I really want to go fishing again. Just being on this island and doing cozy things like fishing or farming kind of made me fall in love with Minecraft in such a beautiful way. So if you're ever overwhelmed by all of the giant worlds and huge projects, just strand yourself on an island in hardcore mode and live the coziest life ever, unless you die. And there's a shark swimming under me while I'm fishing. No thank you. I caught a bunch of fish and I'm filling up the fishing journal, and that thing is here again, so that's my cue to stop because I don't just want to spend the whole 100 days fishing. My crops have actually grown and now we can harvest a bunch of tomatoes. Growing crops by the shore is very early game and not very pretty, so I have a much better idea. We have a little space behind our house that could be our little vegetable garden. I also just remembered that I got a bucket from that creepy zombie dungeon, so we don't even have to use any of our iron. On day 25 I started working on our little vegetable garden. We can have 5 rows of farmland and I hid water under slabs. Then we can decorate this even more by adding a couple fences and of course some leaves, and now this place looks really cottagecore. One row is going to be for the tomatoes, but we only have 2 seeds so far. So over here can be our melon farm. I think I've also seen some pumpkins on this island on the first day. Yeah, we got a bunch of them over here and a little pig guarding them. Yeah, look away while I'm stealing them. Teehee. Actually, there are these beautiful tall flowers. Let's pick them up too. These are going to look so good all over my base. I also planted carrots and beetroot. Then over here we can add some crates, which can serve as a storage for all of the crops. I just put roses in there. I also decorated the path with more leaves and pretty flowers. One crop that didn't fit into my vegetable garden is all of the wheat. I think for that we're going to need a bigger field. We still have a bunch of empty space in front of our house, so maybe all of this land could be a pretty crop field. Let's chop down the trees and get to work. To make the crop field prettier, I want to build a wall of stone around it, so it looks like we have to go back to the mines. This time I'm bringing 3 pickaxes because the stone ones constantly break. On day 27 I was gathering stone on the perfect Y level to find iron, and I found a bunch of it in the walls, and I just found even more iron, and it's lots of it. And my last pickaxe broke just as I found more iron. I guess I have to come back for that later, but that's okay because look, I have half a stack of raw iron and a whole bunch of stone, which is what we actually came here for. Now we just have to wait for this cobble to smelt, and I can pass the time harvesting all of my crops. I also need to figure out how to harvest the rice, so I made a little flint knife. Then we can click on the rice, and now we get rice and also some straw. I also have to work on terraforming our tiny little island and getting rid of all of the gravel patches and the sand patches on the shore. And this guy is overseeing the entire operation, and if I fail, he's going to kill me. Not really though. On day 29, I'd replaced all of the sand with grass, and I got all my stony blocks ready. So now we can start building up a little wall inside of the water surrounding this land. On this side, you can just connect into the wall, but on this side, maybe we just continue to over here, and then kind of connect it to the side of my house, and the space behind it is where the trees grow, and the creepy mustard starfish roams. I think there's one behind me. I'm not scared. Let's also craft a bunch of slabs, which we can randomly add on top of the walls to make them look more detailed. On day 30, my wall was looking really cool. Now we just add holes filled with water everywhere. Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? What is sitting on my wall? Can you please just go? Ooh. That was creepy. I bet it wanted to kill me. Now let's turn everything here into farmland. And after breaking 5 holes, it was finally done. Now we just connect a path to the farm and add some steps so we can go down here without trampling the crops. So let's plant all of the seeds we have. I thought I'd be able to fill in more than just this tiny part here. But once the crops grow, we can add more and more and it's going to look really beautiful. And that thing is not beautiful. Ugh. Now our little starter island is looking really beautiful and there isn't much more that we can add to it. So we can move on to this giant island over here. This is going to be a beautiful cottagecore island too. So first we gotta get rid of a bunch of trees so we can get a nice overview of the land. Now that we have tons of iron, maybe we should also do that with an iron axe instead of a stone one. But since we're stranded on an island, we're never going to be able to enchant our tools because there's no sugarcane here and the cows love to die on magma blocks. So I'm going to try out a mod that helps us get stronger but isn't as powerful as enchanting. It's this skill tree, and we can use XP to slightly upgrade our skills, but it only takes a little bit every time I upgrade. After spending way too long looking at all of the skills and getting my XP levels down to 8, it was time to actually try out the fast axe. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm so excited about the skill tree because I still need XP to upgrade it, so it doesn't make things easier, and I won't get things like Silk Touch or Fortune from it, but it's a completely different way of progression, so this is going to be super fun. On day 32, I continued chopping trees. Aw, my axe broke. And then something creepy happened again. Why do creepy things keep coming to the shore? No. The next thing I gotta do in this world is actually figure out how to get diamonds. And I want to do that in the coziest cottagecore way possible. So we gotta build a little mining outpost that could maybe connect up to my little staircase down here. So I actually chopped down trees on the wrong part of the island because I need to chop those here. On the next day, I remembered to farm my crops and expand the field. It's expanding very, very slowly. And then I continued chopping the trees. While I was chopping trees, I came across this hole and that gave me an idea. Because a mining outpost should also have a quarry. And maybe we can build it right here so we don't have to do that much digging anymore. I decided on the perimeters of the quarry and it's going to be a giant circle right here. But I think we're going to need better tools. Let's craft an iron pickaxe and an iron shovel. And I almost forgot, we can also upgrade our mining speed. I'm on 3 XP levels. It does mine much faster, but I think we could do better than that. We just need a little bit more XP. And you know what the coolest thing is? You get a bunch of XP when you go fishing. So I built this beautiful fishing area and it's actually going to have a purpose beyond giving me food. I also decided to try fishing in the river between my islands because that would mean I could get new kinds of fish. And of course the rain had to ruin my perfect fishing experience. And if things couldn't get worse, my fishing rod broke, but at least I got all of the things back. But I'm actually short on string, so maybe I should stay up tonight and kill some creatures, which is also going to give me XP. Unless I die, then I'm just dead. Okay, I'm really scared. I'm just gonna wait until some creatures spawn and hopefully it's going to be spiders. Spiders, spiders, spiders. Give me XP. Ow. Oh my gosh, they hit so hard. They hit so hard. Me taking 1 heart of damage and instantly panicking. Dude, Enderman. Dude, it's so many creepers. It's 4 creepers. But there's a spider. Come on, I just need 1 piece of string. Didn't even drop string. Not cool. Go away. Why does it always have to be a tiny little zombie baby child? The creepy little child is waiting at my house. Dude, there's a creeper in my window. But there's a spider. Okay, I'm not scared. I'm going out there. No, I'm not going out there. I'm not going out there. I'm not going out there. I'm fighting it. Yay, it didn't explode my wall because it was in the water. Yeah, so this didn't happen. Here, spider. Here, spider. Give me string. Are you kidding me? I let my bridge get blown up and I still didn't get string. Please. Dude, no. Stop. I still didn't get string. If I die now. Yes, we're not dying tonight. At least I got a little bit more XP. I'm just gonna do what I should have done from the start and just go back to that creepy mineshaft. Not that I'm looking forward to going back to the creepy mineshaft, but it looks like I have no choice. I also didn't bring a door. I'm going to drown and die if I don't go in here really fast. Why am I so stupid? Hello, creatures. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to slay. And then this is what I need. We should totally get more just in case we run out again. Oh yeah, there's tons of it here. And we can also get more iron and more string. Now that was absolutely terrifying, but I have 6 strings, so I'm going to leave. Yay, it stopped raining too, finally. So hopefully all of the monsters that are still lurking are burning to death. So now I can get back to fishing right after I repair this bridge. Now we can craft a fishing rod, and I found out you can actually craft one out of stone, which is so random. So let's do that instead. We can also upgrade the fishing line, and that increases the rod's durability, which is good because I don't want to go back to the mineshaft. And back to getting XP we go. On day 36, I started off the day by expanding my crop crop field once again. And I actually managed to completely fill it in, which is amazing. Then I went back to peaceful fishing to recover from all of the zombie, creeper, and skelly incidents. On day 37, I had a whole chest full of fish, and my fishing journal is filling up too. I think the coolest ones I have are the piranha and the pike. Now let's upgrade our mining once again. Now we mine 44% faster, so we gotta stop procrastinating and dig that quarry. And look how fast we can mine. This is amazing. I spent the next 2 days digging that hole, patching up all the open spaces, and making sure the area around it looked terraformed too. And just as I was almost done, the wandering trader spawned in, and the pillagers also spawned in at the same time. Die, pillagers. Let's unalive these guys first, and then wow, we can help the wandering trader. Or kill him too. I haven't decided yet. Yes, just kill each other. Shoot the other pillager. Yes, good pillagers. Oh my gosh, imagine I die in hardcore to pillagers! No, 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 no! Ah! Oh my gosh, if they hit me again, I'm dead. This is so bad. I'm going inside to sleep, not because I'm scared. I'm definitely scared. It's a brand new day, and I'm ready to slay. Rah! Shield. Got one. Come on, just you me. Just you me. Yes! Let's hope the wandering trader hasn't despawned. Yay, he's still alive! Even if I wanted to buy that garbage, I couldn't because I don't have any emeralds. At least he didn't sell spruce because that would have been really painful to witness. The llamas go in the boat, and I can collect the free leads. We can also try taming the llamas so they don't despawn and we can keep them as pets. Please, llamas, please love me. Yay! Now we have both of the llamas in the boat, and I'm just going to leave them over here until I figure out what to do with them. No, don't escape again! All that llama drama aside, this is my little quarry. At least the start of it, because I haven't decorated it yet. We've got 2 levels, and we can go down the ladder to reach the bottom one. And I want to make this place as cottagecore as possible. So let's go into the forest and pick lots of flowers. Now we can add oak shelves on the walls, flower boxes on top of them, and pretty flowers inside of them. I added another shelf down here and a bunch of storage. I also added a bit of cobblestone into the walls and some dirt and grass patches on the ground. And we have some natural copper ore here, which is perfect, so it looks like we're actually mining here. We can also place down a rail because this is where we're actually going to mine. First I thought I should link this up to my staircase that's somewhere over there, but maybe we just keep the staircase as our iron mine, and then this one can go down all the way to deep slate, diamond level. Let's make some more torches and craft a bunch of ladders. If we want to go all the way down to deep slate level, we gotta dig really, really deep. Why am I digging straight down in hardcore mode? I'm so stupid. I hear so many creatures in the walls, or am I in their walls? Oh, zombies, I'm in your walls. I finally hit deep slate level, so now we just need to get down to diamond level, which is like minus 58. Seriously, there's a giant cave underneath me. I'm scared, so let's just try and find a way to dig around it so we don't have to go inside the caves. I think now the cave is no longer under us, so we can get back to digging. And now my pickaxe just broke. Pro Minecraft. Let's see if we actually have enough ladders to get back up. I almost had enough ladders. Almost. Who's there? Is that the wandering trader? I think I'm just going to water climb the rest of the way. Let's craft a new pickaxe. Now let's go back to the creepy crawly place and not die. And let's continue digging. No way, I mined right into diamonds. Let's go. Please no lava. Yay, we got diamonds. 6 diamonds straight away. And yes, I was totally digging straight down. And I literally had the exact amount of ladders that I needed. So now we can start mining. And hopefully our diamond luck is going to continue. But I'm not just mining for diamonds, I'm also picking up as much deep slate as I can because I thought it would be a great idea to build my mining outpost out of deep slate. On day 42 my pickaxe broke, but I had a bunch of deep slate and a bit of redstone. But I want more diamonds, so this isn't the last time I'm going down there. And guess who's waiting at the top of the ladder to welcome me back from a long day in the mines? The wandering scammer. Now we can craft our first diamond pickaxe. But now we can get back to working on the mining outpost. The first thing I did was work on a path leading from the bridge all the way to the quarry. And there's also a cow that is still alive. But the area around the quarry is still very messy, so I'm gonna spend the rest of the day chopping down more trees. And definitely filling in this super creepy hole that I almost fell into. But I also don't like how hilly this part behind the quarry is, so I want to lower it down a couple grass layers. And for that I want to craft a diamond shovel. And we also have 10 XP levels, so we could spend some on making digging faster. Now we dig 32% faster, so this should be a lot better now. Let's go. It's not efficiency 4, but it still helped me terraform the land much quicker. And the houses are gonna go right here behind the quarry. We just need to get a couple couple resources for it, but I think I might already have all of them in my storage. We need lots of deep slate, and I'm also gonna craft some deep slate variants, like these deep slate bricks. But we also need a lot of oak wood. I crafted up the rest of the resources, which was more stony blocks and oak materials. Let's start with the first house, which is going to be this big, and let's go up with oak pillars. And for the walls in between, we add stripped oak wood and oak planks. I also added some little windows, and for the entrance, we can make a cute little archway out of stairs and trapdoors. And I think that looks really cozy. I want this build to be cottagecore, but also have some creepy caving and mining elements. So first we gotta add a gloomy deep slate roof, but we can still make it super cute by adding an arched roof over the entrance. And it just started raining as I said that. I continued building the roof in the pouring rain, and in the very center of the roof, I think it would be really cute if we added another building here. Basically this tiny little building that gets another deep slate roof on top of it. And I was very happy that I got to build that without any more rain. And just like on our house, we can also add another chimney, but this time out of stone bricks. Let's add the oak shutters around it, and then not burn ourselves on the campfire. And now this house is looking like this, and I think it's really cool and also kind of creepy. We gotta cottagecoreify it a little bit more and also add some leaves. And my new obsession, the flower boxes. And I think these flowers would fit here quite nicely. And maybe a lantern in front of the entrance so nothing creeps and crawls here. And now this house is really cute. We should also work on the inside because I want this house to be my little furnace room. So when we find a bunch of iron ore in the mines, we can just come up here and smelt it in a giant furnace. And these big furnaces are going to be on either side of the wall. But I'm going to add a bunch of deep slate around it to make it look like a giant creepy oven. Now the furnaces are done, and we also got to link up a path all the way to down here. And I also want to build a second house next to the first one. And that's exactly what I did on day 48 and built a cute little house using the same block palette. And I really like this cozy little cottage. Let's connect the path again. I've also added a floor and a ceiling on the inside, but we gotta decorate it with more furniture because this is going to be the home for the miner, which is me because I'm the only one here, so I'm going to be the miner, next to being the farmer and fishing obsessed person. There isn't a lot of space in here, but we can have a bed to rest after a long day in the mines, then also a chair and a table, and a plate on the table with a carrot. I also added a cozy chair in the corner, so now we have a cute little interior, and we're definitely gonna need this place to relax after we go back to the mines, because I need to go on a quick trip back to my OG early game mine, because I need one more resource to decorate my mining outpost, and that is gravel. And I also managed to accidentally turn my mineshaft into a water slide. On day 49 I had 44 gravel, so now we can craft coarse dirt, and we have over a stack. And I'm gonna use the coarse dirt to decorate the area all around the quarry, because it's a workplace with a lot of digging and mining, so we can't just have green grass over here. Coarse dirt fits the vibe much better. Another thing we gotta do is link up this path all the way to my early game staircase down here. So let's open this up a little bit more and also cover up this creepy water cave. We go down a lot of wooden steps, then we have a railing here so we don't fall into the creepy ocean, and then another step down here, and that leads us to the staircase. I also added some cozy elements by adding leaves and flowers, and now the way to the iron mine is super cozy. And I even added these glowberries that I found in the zombie dungeon. The empty space in between the quarry and the iron mine could be a storage for all the stony blocks that we can find in the caves. Down here we have tough diorite and granite, and next to the miner's home we could add deep slate and cobblestone. And this turned out pretty cool too. Now one more thing this mining area needs are cranes. And I've also just realized it's day 50, so we're halfway there to surviving 100 days in hardcore. Now we just need to figure out how to build good looking cranes without using spruce wood. Also there's a bee pollinating my house. That is just so weird. On day 51 I decided to experiment with oak wood and try to build a tiny little crane. I fell. And because of the crates, it's actually not bad. This crane can definitely stay, and we can try building a bigger one. I just need to chop down a couple more oak trees because I'm out of wood. But now it's time to up my crane game and build something really big. And on day 52, the giant oak crane was done. So we can actually build pretty things without using spruce wood. And I think that means the mining area is completed. So now we can get back to being greedy and try and get a lot of diamonds from the mines. I want to get all the diamond tools, so I'm going to stay down here as long as I have to until I get diamonds, or until my pickaxe breaks because I forgot to bring a backup again. And I was getting gravel so I could get some more coarse dirt, and look what I found! Diamonds under the gravel. 7 diamonds, let's go! On day 53 I continued mining for the whole day, and I got lucky again and found more diamonds, and even more diamonds in the ceiling, and even more diamonds! Oh my gosh, wait, what's just one? Scammers! Give me more! Yes, there's more. On day 54, I came back from the mines with a bunch of resources, but the best thing were the 17 diamonds that I mined. Let's take a little break from all the mining in our cute miner's house, and then the grind must go on, because we still have a lot of work to do until this island is completely decorated. Every time I need wood, I just chop down the trees on the island and don't replant them. So I've been slowly getting rid of all of the trees here, and at some point I won't have any more to chop. And my mining area needs a friend, so let's build it a wood cutting area right here. Of course, I chose a space that is full of trees so we can get more resources to build here and also clear up the area at the same time. So it's a win-win situation for myself, my builds, but not so much for the trees. I got rid of all trees except one because this one has a beehive and I don't want that floating midair. And I definitely do not want to anger the bees in hardcore mode. I also want to upgrade my digging again because we also have a lot of terraforming to do here. I covered up all the creepy water caves and also got rid of this random sandy circle. But I also want an easier way from my house to my wood chopping area because I don't want to go all the way around it or swim in the creepy ocean. So maybe we could try to build a little bridge. We could cut a little way through my farm and open up the wall here and then try to make some kind of cute little bridge across. And it's going to have to be diagonal too. I connected it to the other side and maybe we also need to add some more pillars to the middle. And now my little bridge is completed. And we could have a path going past this little bee tree. Then we can go up the hill and connect it to this part here next to the crane. On day 57, the path was done. And we can start working on the woodcutting area, which is going to go right here. I'm just gonna add a couple oak pillars to mark the perimeter of the wood chopping area. So this place is where we're going to farm trees from now on. We just need to close off the perimeter by adding some fences so no sharks can come to the shore and eat me. And also because it's gonna look much prettier. And then we can add a cute little log storage here, which is basically going to be a pile of oak logs. And we can hold it together by adding rails around it. And with more coarse dirt, this looks really cool. Let's also start placing all of the saplings. And let's also close this off a little bit more. And then we can add a big pile of storage crates here. And these can hold all of the saplings. Oh my gosh, a tree just grew! Let's go! And another one just grew! Now we can start gathering resources for a little woodcutter's house. The house is going to go right here next to the tree farm. So we just gotta push back more of the dirt layers. Hello cow, don't go into the magma blocks. I think it's leaving to go into the magma blocks. And my tree farm is actually working so well, even though the saplings are growing so close to each other. And I also want to do a little building challenge and try to build this house just out of birch and oak wood. So on day 60 I started crafting up all of the resources. And my wood farm was working so well that a giant mega tree grew. And these are all of the resources that we're going to use for the house. So let's start building and hope it looks good. The walls and the roof and everything else is entirely made out of oak and birch wood, with maybe the only exception being a little bit of dirt and grass growing on the roof. On day 62 most of the house was done. At least it looks like it, but I still haven't finished the roof on the back because I was out of oak wood. At least the tree farm has been giving me a bunch of big trees, even though they're super annoying to chop down. But now let's finish the back of the roof. And a cow has moved into my house, and so that doesn't happen anymore, let's add some windows and let's just do the same design as on my starter house. So we're gonna have pretty flower boxes and window shutters and some slabs and trapdoors above that. I think these flowers are going to look perfect. I also decorated the entrance and I think this house looks really cool even though it's just made out of oak and birch. But it gives the perfect cottagecore woodcutter vibes. We can add the fish display here too because it also looks like an oak log. So it's like the sign that says what this building is. I also decorated the back of the house and added a back door with a little overhang. So maybe this could also lead to a cool place later. But first we actually have to decorate the house on the inside. I'm just gonna dig out this entire floor and then we can add in a nice stony floor and patching up the messy log and dirt ceiling by adding stairs under them. On this side is going to be the cozy bedroom with a couple drawers and a big curtain going over the entire wall. I think it looks really cool. And to light things up, a little lamp in the ceiling. On the other side can be a cozy couch and a carpet. And I also want to try and fit a table here, so maybe we do one in the corner and a chair here. We also got shelves here and shelves over the door holding a bunch of leaves. I also had the perfect idea what this back door could lead to. A little forest. It would totally make sense for a woodcutter's house to be built next to the forest. And since this place is dominated by oak trees, maybe this natural forest is gonna be birch. I made a path that goes all the way up the hill. And to decorate it, we could also add a couple fences, mainly so we have a place to put lanterns because I don't want anything spawning here or crawling out of the ocean. I don't know who keeps destroying the seagrass, but that is creepy. It was definitely that guy. He's creepy. This looks like a really nice hiking trail. Even the cow is using it. Now all we have to do is plant the birch trees. The saplings are everywhere, so now we just need to wait for them to grow. And I'm gonna continue decorating the rest of this wood chopping area. And a tree just grew. Let's go. I built another log pile, and this time it's birch wood. And I planted a bunch of flower patches in front of the house because of the bees. A bunch of trees have grown already, but it still doesn't look like a full forest. So we have more time to kill, and you know what I've been really missing? Fishing. I know, right? I have a fishing dock that goes out to the sea, so we could also have one alongside this little river. I just need to figure out how to build a fishing dock that curves around this land. Let's just wing it and start adding a bunch of slabs. This was really hard to figure out and took me all day, but I think it looks okay. Now we just connect a path to it, and we can add tons of crates as decor, but of course it is raining once again. I put more crates here, and we can also add a table and a chair. The rain is making this place kind of sad and gloomy, so let's cheer ourselves up and add some flower boxes. And I don't want to fish while it's raining, so let's try and upgrade our fishing rod once again. We could try crafting a magnetic hook, which increases treasure chance. I didn't even know there was treasure, so now I'm hooked. So let's add in this one. We can also upgrade our fishing rod even more, but for that we need to craft a smithing table. And then we can add the stone fishing rod, some string, and a diamond. And now we get a diamond fishing rod. This is so good. And it also says extra XP, which is even better because I need XP to mine things faster. On day 68, I crafted a bunch of bait, and the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. So let's go fishing. Let's see what our cool new diamond fishing rod is going to give us. And look, there's a little magnet on the apple. So maybe we even get some treasure. And we got a fish. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's not fish. That's not fish. Wait, did it fly there? I didn't place this here. The crate actually flew on land and landed here. We got a bunch of cobblestone, some cooked fish, and a fishy node. Location underground. That seems creepy. I'm not diving. Now I'm even more addicted to fishing because I want to try and see what else I can catch. I just got a fish bone. It's safe to say that I'm now addicted to fishing in Minecraft because I spend the whole day 69 staring out at the ocean and going one more, one more. What was that? Why did this fish fly so far? Awkward. On day 70 I had 2 crates full of fish and also got some rare ones like this Pluto snail and the manta ray. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. We've caught so many different kinds of fish already, but now I have to take a break from all of the fishing because it looks like my birch forest has finally grown. Now we can go through the woodcutter's house and out the back door. We can walk up underneath the trees and all the way to the top, and I added a little bench here. We can enjoy the beautiful view of the ocean and all the creepy creatures that lurk here. I'm definitely not scared of the ocean, but I'm kind of scared that we still have to decorate this giant part of the island and I only have 30 days left. But I had a lot of time to think while I was fishing, so I came up with some really cool ideas. But first, let's get rid of all of the remaining trees on this part of the island. Having a bunch of empty space definitely helps me to plan out my builds, but we also totally need to bring back the trees later because every base looks much better with a bunch of trees. And on day 71 it was raining again, so I used my 16 levels that I got from fishing to upgrade my digging once again. Now we dig 60% faster, so let's terraform this place around this creepy water cave. I think I'm just going to cover it up because I don't want to go into this creepy place ever again. And also many cows died here. On day 72 the pesky rain was gone and I was halfway done with covering up the creepy hole. I also saw a random tooth just swimming in the water and I don't see anything nearby, so let's get it, let's get it. Oh my gosh, it's a shark tooth. So there must be something worse out there that can actually kill a shark. I'm definitely not scared. Now that this area is wide open, I also spotted a bunch of farm animals. We also have a cow if it doesn't just go and die in the ocean right now. And we also had another cow roam around here earlier, so if this cow is still around, we might actually have to. It literally left. Oh my gosh, it fell down into my quarry. Yes! Well, actually no, because it probably almost died. But yes, we have 2 cows. We just need to lure this guy out of my quarry so I can breed them and harvest their leather. Let's meet the other cow. Let's breed them. And now we have 3 cows. And hopefully they won't die. But my next build definitely has to be a home for all of the farm animals. So on day 73 I got to work and gathered a bunch of resources. While the trees grow, I'm going to continue to work on the terraforming. There's a cave. And now we have this giant flat area for our farm. I'm still waiting for the trees to grow, but until then, I'm gonna put together all of the other resources. I also saw the weirdest thing ever in the ocean. There's the otter, and it's holding onto a bottle. What is going on? I kind of want to see what this is about, but it's a really long swim across, and there's this creature around. But look, it's leaving, and maybe it's not coming back. Let's swim. Let's do it. Where's the bottle? Oh, it's right next to me. I got it! Let's run away. Shark! Shark! There's a shark! It hasn't seen me. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Now, this better be something important. A sea message. I'm feeling fantastic today. Whoever wrote this, I'm gonna kill them. At least I didn't die to any sharks in the ocean, so let's get back to getting resources. The first build in our Cottagecore farm area is going to be a giant but cute animal barn made of birch and oak wood. And I think this barn is really cute. Let's make a path going inside of it. And my shovel just broke. Let's quickly make a new one. Then we can also add some fences on each side, which is where the animals are going to live. The pigs like carrots, so they're going to follow me when I hold them. And into your new home you go. On the next day, I also lured the cows over. And now they can all live happily ever after in their new home. And I can harvest resources from them. I mean, give them a super cozy cottagecore life. My animals are going to need a lot of food, so this whole place here could be a giant crop field. Let's add a little bit more dirt here and make this look better. And look who I spotted while I was getting water for my farm. The Wandering Trader. Please don't trade anything useful because I don't have emeralds. Oh, this is so mean. He's trading a shark plushie too. That is not fair. It's just not fair. But I am stealing and taming the llamas. Now we have even more llama friends. On day 78, I turned all of the grass into farmland. And then we can craft a bunch of stone slabs. And then we can add a stony wall around the farm, just like I did on our starter island. And I think this turned out really well. Now we just have to plant a bunch of crops here. I also want to add some cute farm decor on this side because this is super empty. I grabbed a bunch of oak wood and we could try building a giant hay cart. We're gonna use trapdoors as the wheels and some oak fence gates in the front. We could also add a little bench here so we could sit here and the horse would be in front of me. I also made a bunch of hay bales which we can add on top of the cart. Now this looks really cute. Another thing we could add is a little water well, so we can add a couple oak fences and some slabs on top of the fences and stairs in between. And it looks really cute even without spruce wood. On day 80, I also connected a path over to my new little farm builds. I also added some coarse dirt and more piles of hay bales in the pouring rain. And with a pillager patrol trying to sneak up on me and murder me. I don't want to die in hardcore. Be gone. That would be super embarrassing, right? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Why are they so strong? I hate pillagers. I also added some leaves around the farm and now this place is looking pretty cute, even though the rain kind of ruins the cottagecore vibes. On day 81, I went right back to gathering resources because I wasn't done with my farm area just yet. After crafting all of the things that could be found in my storage, I went back to the tree farm to get more oak wood. We still have all of these llamas that we rescued and they're in need of a home. Emphasis on rescued, they were definitely not stolen. Teehee. They're getting a brand new stable and I've chosen this empty hill next to the animal barn. But first we get to pick all of the flowers that are sadly in the way of my build. Let's first start with a little wall made of cobblestone, andesite and stone bricks, but mostly using cobblestone because I'm running low on the other stone types. For the house walls, I got to strip more birch wood but with a stone axe so I don't break my precious diamond axe. I also had a new window idea and added stairs to create a little circle, which ended up looking like a square because it is a block game after all, but I think it looks really cute. Now we just need to add a roof and I had so much granite left over and it does go well with birch wood, so it is going to be our roof material. I also tried to sneak in some dirt patches with a little bit of grass growing out of them. All in all, I think the llama stable turned out pretty good. To connect it to the rest of the farm area, I cleared a couple of grass blocks to make a path, but of course had to uncover a creepy cave in the process. But as a survivor of over 80 days in hardcore, I wasn't scared at all. Now this is looking much better and the perfect place for a road. On the next day, the road was done, and in addition to that, I also added a little carrot patch for the pigs. Now we just have to move the llamas into their new home, and I learned that I just need to have one llama on a lead and the rest will just follow me on their own, which is kinda cute. This is their new home with lots of space, and of course they get some hay bales to eat, so maybe now they will forgive me for kidnapping them. Or not, I think this guy's trying to crush me with its head. Let's leave, I'm scared. Now we have taken care of all of the animals on this island, or have we? Because we also have bees, and all I have done is take their flowers away to make way for my builds, which isn't very nice, so this place down here is going to be our cozy bee and flower area. Also, this guy spawned right in time for me to add more llamas to the stable. Teehee. Then I got back to terraforming my new bee area, ripping on more flowers in the process, but it's all gonna be worth it. I also saw more weird stuff floating in the ocean and decided to risk it once again in the hopes of finding some treasure. I do wonder how the stuff keeps appearing, like look, there's a saddle over there. We got some weird kelp and a glowing hook which increases fishing speed at night. I am definitely under no circumstances fishing at night, and totally not because I'm scared. I was scared. I started the next day by building a wooden retaining wall around the new bee area, which turned out pretty good. And so we don't fall into the scary ocean on this side, we can add a wooden fence as a railing. And I think I just spotted the cause of all the items appearing on the surface. Ugh, and something something else just came to the surface. But scary ocean creatures aside, I also made a path going straight through this area, so it could be like a cute park that we can walk in. I still have to do a lot of work to decorate this place, so on day 86 I went back into the quarry and the mines down below to collect more gravel. Now we can craft many stacks of coarse dirt, which we can then use to replace most of the grass here. I'm glad the rainy day was yesterday, so we can decorate this in the sunshine. I have so many flowers in my chest, so we can finally put them to good use and make the most beautiful little flower garden for myself and for the bees. On one side we have red tulips and roses, and on the other side a mix of white flowers plus a bench so we can relax in this beautiful place. Another amazing addition to this island. Next I want to work on this area here. So I spent the next 2 days not only terraforming but also forming a plan in my tiny little brain to decide what else I should build here. But on day 89 I was in the mines getting resources because I did in fact have an idea. This entire place will be a cozy little village so that I can pretend someone else lives here, and it's definitely not me talking to myself. I definitely haven't carved a face into the pumpkin and pretended it was a real person. Definitely not. Anyway, we only have a few days left in this world, so we better get to work. I chopped several stacks of oak wood, found a huge amount of deep slate in my storage that I can put to good use, and crafted a bunch of cute decor for the houses. Now I have a chest full of amazing resources, so we better get started. If one Minecraft day is 10 minutes long, that means I only have 1 hour and 40 minutes to not only construct a bunch of houses, but also to decorate them so the area looks nice and also like a village before the 100 days are completed. So it is safe to say that I've never built so fast in my life. The houses are built and a path is leading to their doors. I used the same block palette for all of them, but try to give every house a unique shape. They do still look very bland, so I have all my decor ready to give this place a huge cottagecore makeover. The first thing I did was coarse dirtify the entire path, then I added chairs, tables, and benches wherever I found the area lacking something exciting. The house walls were also lacking something, so I spammed decor on them too. And some creepy creature decided to attack me, but I slayed it because I'm not afraid of the ocean. On day 95, the village was looking so different already. I planted lots of trees and added a lot of little farms and flower beds around the houses to give this place a cozy vibe. I even started a little rice farm, which is growing very slowly. But the village is far from done because I also want to decorate all of the houses on the inside. I also had the idea that this cottagecore village could be a museum for my entire stinky fish collection. Oh yeah. Let's craft lots of fish displays, and now let's get all of this fish. Good that I planted so many flowers outside so they can mask the stench of all the dead fish on the walls. It is raining again, but the interior is done, and now there's fish on the walls of each of the little houses. Some have chairs and tables or couches and beds, but the main theme of course is fish. But the big house on the hill holds my most precious collection. I basically made this into a fish museum, so we have all the huge fish I caught on the wall, and here on the table we have my fishing rod and the journal, plus some treasures I found in the ocean like the shark tooth. And I think this place is really cool, same as my cottagecore stinky fish village. We have a little bit of time left, so let's add more details to the rest of the island. On day 98, I spam more coarse dirt alongside all of the paths so that every part of the island may look as pretty as the village. And on day 99, I returned all of the flowers I picked throughout the 100 days because this island is a flower forest biome, so we must have flowers everywhere. But today is day 100, so we finally reached our goal of surviving 100 days in hardcore mode, stranded on an island. We filled this entire place with builds, so let me give you a little tour. Of course, we started off on this small island with our starter house, and behind it we have a beautiful garden and my fishing shack where I spend a lot of hours fishing in the ocean. Then of course I made a bridge leading to my beautiful cottagecore village. This place is the most detailed area, full of flowers and leaves and cottagecore things. And of course we can't forget the stinky fish on the inside. Then when we follow this path, we go into our farm area with a big crop field and a cute little decor. Then the big barn for all of my farm animals. Then we can follow this now super decorated path that is full of flowers too, and it leads to the llama stable, but of course also to this cozy place, the bee flower garden, and the bees love it. After a beautiful stroll in the flower garden, we can reach the stinky fish museum with this giant ray on the wall. And on the right side of the farm, we have our mining area with a big quarry that leads all the way down to deep slate, my little smelting and cozy mining house, all of the cool cranes, and of course the path leading down to my iron mine. And it's definitely not a mess there, we don't look there. Then we can go past all of this decor and go down this path here, and that brings us to our little woodcutting chatting area with a beautiful river fishing dock and the house made entirely out of wood. But of course we can go through here and walk through our beautiful birchwood forest. I did so much building and also a lot of surviving. And I think this island looks pretty cool. Look at all of these builds, so many houses and so much decor. And to finish off these 100 days, I want to do something stupid and go and jump in the ocean and provoke a shark or whatever creepy creature I find here. Ooh, there's a bunny! Oh my gosh, no! I didn't want to provoke this guy. Sorry, little bunny. Oh, sharks, I'm here. Hello? Wait, there is a shark here. Hello? Hi! Is it not evil? Dude, it doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about me at all. It just killed something. So sharks are actually friendly. But this thing is creepy. Ugh. I want to look for danger and all I can find is really silly fish. I could have escaped this island all along because the fish don't care. Look at the pretty jellyfish. Look, there's... Ah! 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 Poison, 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 poison. Why am I poisoned? Ah! Why is the dolphin after me? I take it back. Everything is creepy. I just want to go back to my island. This was so much fun and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye!